came out, really after, I guess the South Dakota game is really when I think they started coming together. We talked about survival. We talked about just going out and really playing. This could be your last game. And they bought into that. They went out there. They competed each game, each pitch. We put up a lot of runs early against South Dakota, and I think that kind of just gave us a lot of confidence offensively. Defensively and pitching, they did a great job as well. So that was probably the thing that was probably the key of just, I think, for them just to kind of relax a little bit more than we did the first game. I mean, we don't think we're too tight, but we just really came out and just really played together. And after that, it just took off.
I've heard from you the last couple of weeks about playing loose, about relaxing, about having fun. Obviously, that's going to be a message going forward. It seemed to work for you. But how do you encourage that on such a big stage with such young girls on your team?
We just have nothing to lose. I mean, because I guess for me, looking at it, we haven't talked about as much with these guys as we probably have with some of the past teams is, we're still at North Dakota State University. We're still a softball program up here. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I just mean that is we're not really supposed to do things on the national scene, I guess, in my mind, compared to maybe an SEC school or a Conference USA school. Because, we're inside. We practice inside. We get a chance to go out and play games, but when we come back and practice for 2 days and get back on the road and we practice inside compared to a lot of teams down south that they stay at home, they play. They don't have to travel as much. And so there's a lot of different things that kind of wear and tear of the season, I think, on our team, not just this year's team, but over the years, is, I just use that as kind of a momentum, kind of a motivating factor a little bit. Regardless if we had success in the past or not, it's like I feel like we're still always the underdog. And that's where we try to tell that to our team is we're not supposed to go in and beat Oklahoma, who was ranked 10th and won the national championship last year. Do we think we can go out there and compete? Yeah, I think we can. I think we can against anybody in the country. It's just a matter of we're still, I feel like, always trying to prove ourselves and have that type of mentality.
Eerie for you looking at this bracket?
A lot of memories, a lot of good memories, but it is, and especially when I guess both Tulsa and Oklahoma, the same coaching staff as that were there before, are still there. There's a lot of things that are, every time I think about it a little bit in that aspect, there's a lot of great memories that kind of come through from just the time we jumped off the plane to the time we left. I mean, everything was really fresh because it was just our first regional ever, and we didn't expect to have the success we did. We're just, like you asked about staying loose, that's where we learned. I'll never forget our strength coach at the time, Adam Herman. We had a game that was delayed. We played 7 innings. We had to come back and play the next game to finish it. So it's 0-0 against Oklahoma. And our team was on the bus dancing around, and he goes, it's the biggest game in their life, and they have no idea what they're playing. And it's like that's always stuck with me because that's why we want these guys to do the same thing. Don't let the magnitude of the game become bigger than it should be. They're still young. They're still growing. Have fun. And the more we can do that, that's when we've had our successes, not just in 2009, but back to 2000 we won our national championship. Some of the regional championships, conference championships we've had, that's when this team or this program has played its best.
Talk about your young players. Was there just such an adjustment from high school for some of them?
Actually, that would be a good question for some of Montana. What do you think? I mean, I think some of them, yes. I think it always is. And I think for Vanessa, as a sophomore. She was injured a little bit early on last year, didn't get a chance to be on the field as much. Even our juniors, they haven't been on the field as much. So I think there's this transition, not just for our high school, our freshmen, but for all of them, just from the level of competition we played in the preseason to the conference. The conference is a whole different animal too, because it doesn't matter. It's a whole different, I guess you want to say, I don't want to say pressure, but you're playing for something a little bit bigger than preseason. So I think there's a lot of growth through this team this whole year, just on the field, off the field, as a team. And I think they've really matured a lot through the whole year, even though they're still kind of be a little goofy, right? But you just see that growth, and that's something that I look back at this last week. I told them after the first championship game, I said I was proud of them. I mean, just because they came out, and you can see the growth within each person within the team, and regardless of that outcome of that last game, it was something that I thought was pretty amazing to see.
Darren, where's this Oklahoma team rank of all the good ones you've played? Where does this one rank?
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, I just got done watching one of their games, and they're good. They're fast. They make a lot of things happen. Where they rank, you can ask me after this weekend. I guess I'll give you a better answer. I mean, because we played a lot of great teams over the years, a lot of great programs, and they're up there with them. It's it's pretty cool to get a chance, to go against the defending national champions, if it was Oklahoma, Arizona State in the past, Washington, any of those teams we played. But I don't know yet until we play them. But they are definitely, program-wise, one of the best programs in the country, year in, year out. This team, I guess, they're really good. I guess I'll give you a better answer after this weekend.
How much did the preseason help? You played, 10 or 11 teams that are in the tournament field, so you've seen really good competition. How much did playing those games early in the year help kind of prepare these girls for this weekend?
I think a lot, because you look at, a lot of other teams we played, we had a lot of close games. We had some games that weren't so close at times too, but I think it takes away that factor of just, hopefully, they should be nervous. It's a regional tournament. It's exciting. You have to have a little bit of those nerves, but maybe not as much as you would expect just because we've had some of those games in the past. That's something I kind of keep on looking at as I look at our team over preparing for Oklahoma is, we've played in a lot of these games. And so it goes back to the question before, let's just not make it bigger than it is, because we know we can go out there and compete with teams at this level. And so let's not get ahead of ourselves and try to do too much. Let's continue to do the things that we've done that's been made us successful and enjoy that moment, and trust ourselves.
You have such a young team, and you do have players that have done this before. How do you rely on their leadership and their example to go out there and do it the right way?
I think if they just go out there and kind of, just like I said, they trust themselves, believe in themselves, go out there and just trust the process. We know it's going to be a dogfight. We know it's going to be tough. It's one pitch at a time. Like I always say, it's all the cliches we always throw at you guys, but that's really what it is. And don't look at the other team. Let's look at ourselves, and that's what we've always kind of done to be successful as well, is that if we don't want to go out there and beat ourselves, and a great quote I saw last week, or we heard last week when we shared with our team, was Ole Miss went and they beat Florida last week to get to or I think it was again the semifinals for the SEC tournament, and their pitcher who we had faced earlier this year had a comment. She said, "You know what? I don't think that we'd lost to Florida all year. We just beat ourselves every single time." And I feel like that's our team in a lot of games this year. We've beaten ourselves, and if we go out there and take care of business with ourselves, then we can have potentially have a really good tournament.
I think we're just kind of like taking it like kind of how we took conference tournament and pretty much like preseason, going in there knowing that we're the underdog and pretty much like playing fearless, controlling what we can control, having no expectations, and just like going out there and trying to make some teams uncomfortable and see if we can steal some games from them.
You guys have both faced some of this top-tier talent at the plate. What kind of stood out about them? Can you remember back to early this year, even your experiences from last year? Just what stood out about them? What makes those SEC players, those Power 5 conference players, kind of as tough as they are?
I think just how aggressive they are, and they definitely capitalize on your mistakes. So if you leave it on anywhere on the white, it's probably going over the fence. But I don't know, it's funny because we'll talk and it's like they play the game so different sometimes. Like I don't know, but definitely how aggressive they are and just how like disciplined they are and how much like heart they have for the game itself.
If both of you can take a chance answering this one, are you guys kind of excited to have another crack at some of that talent? I mean, I know it's a daunting task, but are you excited as the competitor in you, hungry for this opportunity?
I think I can speak for the whole team, and we are. And I know when Oklahoma popped up on the screen, all of us were like, it's a childhood dream to play Oklahoma. And I think we're all excited. Like, yeah, we're going in as underdog, and like how Darren said, we have nothing to lose. So, like, might as well just give it all you have. But I know we're definitely excited.
And we know that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Like, we don't know if we'll ever be back to a regional. We don't know if we'll ever even get to play another game. Like, anything could happen. So I think we're just going to go in there and do what we do.
What did you guys see out of your team this past weekend that you hadn't seen for the previous 3 months? What was it about the last 3 days you guys playing that was different than during the regular season?
You want me to go? We really came together as a team. I think the Western game, like, even though we lost, we still fought hard and everybody had each other's backs. And like for me and KK at least, we knew that like no matter what happened, like if she had to come in for me or I had to come in for her, like we were going to get the job done. And for the batters, even if someone got out, then the next person was going to get it. And we were all super excited. Every time we like got a hit or we stole a base or we made even a routine play, like that's what we preach, like make 100% of the routine plays. So I forgot the question.
I feel like we had a plan too. Even the start of the second game on Saturday, down 3-0 in the first inning. Like, if that would have been any other game this season, like, honestly, I would have been a little nervous. Like, there's no way, because, like, we would have fell apart. But I was not even worried. Like, I looked at Alyssa in the dugout, and I was like, we're fine. I was like, it's the first inning. And we just had – I've never seen, like, that kind of fire in our eyes before. Like, we had a plan, and I don't think it ever got too fast for us. And I know I was telling Jax, like, the game we were winning when it was 10-2. Like, I never even – like, I knew the score, but, like, I wasn't playing like it was 10-2. Like, I don't know. But I think we just had a plan and stuck to it, and we were fighting until the end.
I think it's a very exciting opportunity. Like they said, not everybody gets this. Most teams don't get this opportunity. I think most of us feel blessed, excited to go take on a great team and hopefully make them uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are just really excited to keep on playing. You know, that was the goal, survive, win the conference tournament, and live to see another weekend together. So, like Zoe said, I think it's a great opportunity, and we're all excited to play again.
Oklahoma's got some talent in the circle. I don't know how much you guys have seen out of them yet, but what's one of your takeaways from any one of their pitchers that they have, open to anybody really?
They got some great pitchers. Haven't really watched a whole lot of their games, but in practice, like, we're just in any game really, like, we're just trying to take the ball, just start there, and then just really see the ball, and that's just what we're trying to do.
I mean, they're great pitchers, and we faced a lot of great pitchers this year. So I guess you just try to take what you've learned in those at-bats and focus on your strengths and control the at-bat, which is hard to do when they're so good. But, I mean, it's a battle either way.
What's it been like for you, Vanessa, compared to last year, seeing the lineup every day and things like that?
Well, it's completely different for me, and so I pretty much consider myself a freshman. I only got a few at-bats last year, and it was a lot of learning and growing, coming from a small town and not playing as much like high-level competition. Before college, I had to learn and grow a lot, but this year, I think, like, even as the year has gone on, I've also continued to learn and grow a lot, and it's been a blast.
Same for you. I mean, it's your first go around. How are you processing all this?
Just taking it one pitch at a time. Don't get too far ahead of myself. It's been really great. A lot of learning experiences, a lot of chances to grow. So I'm super excited for the years to come too.
Feel, as I asked the coach, you guys heard me ask him, he kept talking about wanting you guys to be loose, to be relaxed, to kind of calm down. And now you're all smiling really big. So what's that kind of meant for you? How has that kind of really been able to affect your mindset? How have you held on to that idea?
I think our team is a goofy team, like he said. We know how to have fun together, have a good time. One thing that we've been starting is like meditating before each game. I think that's been keeping us loose and control. And as well, I think everybody can see us out there dancing, having fun, and just that kind of brings us together as a team, but also keeping us loose.
Are you guys concerned at all about then combining that with the pressure of being at regionals, of facing off against Oklahoma?
I feel like not really. It's a cool opportunity. Last year, we all watched them win a national championship, and obviously that's everybody's dream growing up playing softball. And it's cool to go face somebody that's done it and hopefully challenge them and maybe give ourselves a chance to go do the same thing.
You mentioned meditating. Who's leading those sessions?
Well, Darren, he's led it throughout the year, but we kind of just like take it whenever you need it. So sometimes if I get myself all tired, I go talk to maybe a teammate, say, hey, can we go meditate really fast? Just go, take a few minutes to yourself, take a couple of deep breaths, and we're good to go.
Is there visioning, what all goes into that aside from the breathing and the calming yourself down? What else are you going through in those meditative sessions?
I usually just try to think about the breathing and just staying calm. Darren always says to relax our face because we get tight. He's brought that up to me quite a few times, but just trying to relax your body and like trusting it because we know how to play and just trusting ourselves.
Was there a point during the year where it wasn't fun? I know coaches mentioned that to have it. Was there a point where it was a grind and we're just going out there, and when did that change?
I think it's always a grind, and you have to make it fun. If you don't love what you're doing, then why are you doing it? And even the worst practices, the hardest practices, like you still have to make it fun. Like you still enjoy it. Like you get to play softball. Like you get to be with these awesome teammates and you get to play.
Darren mentioned earlier about how you guys are NDSU softball. It's a tough road for you. All the travel, practicing inside, all that kind of stuff makes it tough. It's kind of a theme of NDSU athletics. You've seen the men's basketball program go to the NCAA tournament. You've seen, obviously, the football team take down FBS programs, all of that. How much does the family of NDSU athletics, the big picture, how much does that motivate you? And how motivated are you guys to kind of be that next team to do it, that next group to represent NDSU on the national stage?
I think it's kind of like the blue-collar tradition that has become like the body and the tradition of NDSU. We are the underdogs in any stage that we go on, and so we just have to work that much harder and be that much closer as a team to have the same success that huge programs do. And I think that the way that we can come together and through our hard work really allows us to do that and have success.